mean, at least it's the right sounds.
Is it, though? 11th game in his pro career for Prey on the Jinx. Definitely the Cogmore man, right? More than the Jinx, but 6-4, so a positive win rate. Might be brought back a little bit in this particular...
I do like the Jinx pickup here. It's what Def decided to do this season also, is the Jinx into Sivir. Very old lane counter matchup. You can outrange the Sivir relatively effectively and still wave clear alongside her as well. So,
2015 analysis that you and I talked about. We're bringing it back. The little black book of 2015 shows up in 2019 summer. It's
shown up a lot. It's shown up a lot more than I was expecting to. But here we are, game number 2 of the Telecom War. KT fans in full voice. KT fans feeling a bit nervous here as the turret plates are put in place. Having a look at some of these keystones, B2D going for the Summoner Airy. A little bit more of that consistent damage. Khan has taken the Grasp of the Undying on his Aatrox, actually matching that of Smeb's Camille.
When Azir gets outrange, I don't think there's any reason to go Electrocute. I actually like Lethal Tempo here. If you can proc it, then you actually get a lot of trade damage in. When Zoe comes in with her portal jump, you can actually get quite a lot of damage in with the extra attack speed. So a lot of windows to talk about in the mid lane when it comes to the trading. Obviously after lane it's a bit different. It's all in versus poke. Otherwise, looking down the runes, Unsealed Spellbook from Effort. So he's got the creativity going. In fact, double Unsealed Spellbook from supports. Means that smite range is just that tad bit larger.
Yeah. Sand Soldier's going to be set up here as Faker's going to take the champion that B2D attempted to take him down on in game number 1. And, of course, was successful. The only kill that KT got was, of course, B2D's Azir up against Faker's Corki at that stage.
Faker's most recent Azir game was the 40-plus minute epic against IG at Rift Rivals, where he made that massive flank and almost found a way to salvage what seemed like an unlosable game for 100% crit Nico IG. The growth of information of what's going on in terms of rune choices, seeing if we find anything too spectacularly exciting. Shield Bash from Lux, pretty standard for your W auto trades.
Yep. And I do like the fact that we've taken every precision first row rune as well.
Snowflower's trying to battle for the blue buff because it was big buff into big buff. Sejuani didn't go for a full topside clear, actually. Went for 2 camp clear, trying to get to blue and clear upwards. So definitely a little bit sad.
And you can see Clid was actually able to come in there, steal that one away, and it will be a 3-buff going over. No vertical jungling to come down from Umpty as he was already on his wolf camp. So just an outplay from Clid. Probably one of the best Jarvan players in the world. And certainly solidified himself as that earlier in the year.
You're really devastated here. You might wonder why didn't Sejuani instantly walk over and try to contest the enemy blue. It wasn't just that she started up her wolves. Consider the lanes here. Azir in Windows can actually get the trade lead. Aatrox actually beats Camille early. It's a matchup where Camille needs a bit of time before the trades get good. But with cooldowns down, maybe with a long lane here, maybe Khan's overstepped.
Yeah, he's trying to get there, but you can see Smeb playing this out very, very well. The minion wave going to help Khan a lot, actually. As the flash comes in, Umpty's made his way down towards the bottom side. Not quite able to get too much joy there as the Lucent Singularity is fantastic. Flash already down as Teddy makes his way underneath the turret. Prey gets excited as he picks up first blood.
Nice angle coming in from Umpty, and even the pre-flash from Teddy, not enough to live. Good moment from KT Rolster, and like you say, who else to get the kills to but Jinx?
Damn right. Now Prey started off very early. No flash available though. So Clid will have that opportunity on the bottom side as now B2D could be in trouble. Big shield coming in, but the trouble bubble landed. Great double knock-up though from Clid towards the end as Faker's going to get it with the last auto attack. Permafrost instantly cleansed. I don't know whether Faker necessarily needed to do that, but style points certainly on his side.
Style points go a long way sometimes. Top side, we're seeing the trades. Usually Aatrox priority matchup early, but if either player misuses their biggest cooldowns, Q for the Aatrox, the hook shot for the Camille, there are windows to do a big amount of damage and potentially find a surprise kill. Here's the angle here, and Umpty comes in from a really wide angle, not depressed about missing out on a second big buff. They find a nice angle, they don't get to spell shield the stun. Teddy dies, and you even get to set it up for Prey to take the kill.
Yeah, really nicely done. The avoidance of the zap was actually the beginning of the end there, as B2D going to get slightly knocked up in this trade, and this was magical. We get the frame by frame as Clid comes in to murder B2D.
The stun came in at the perfect time. Couldn't even pre-buffer EQ as Clid and get stunned afterwards because it was too far away. But still ends up being evolved in a positive way. That means we have little windows where one side is ahead and the other side is behind, and that didn't really happen in game number 1. It's kind of SKT winning, so
yeah,
does lead to some higher hype values for this last game, potentially.
And First Blood being over in the hands of KT does mean that, as you can see, slight advantage. As far as the gold is concerned, Clid now on top of this Mountain Drake actually skirts through a whole bunch of vision that KT had. He doesn't quite understand how lucky he was.
Or
to
maybe
not be discovered.
just, behind enemy lines in a way that's even better than we could have imagined.
Yeah, some Owen Wilson strategies right there. Good movie, that one.
How's Luke Wilson doing?
I don't know. Who's Luke Wilson?
His brother.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't know he had a brother.
He does.
It's like the Hemsworth type situation. It's like one of them's hyper famous, the other ones are, not quite there. Hemsworth is different. There's Liam and Chris, and then that other guy who was in Westworld.
Oh, no.
He was the short one.
I gave up on that show.
Yeah, I liked the first season. It was really good. I watched 2 episodes of the second season and went, nah, not for me.
I loved the first episode. I thought the first episode was really good. And it was a fraught with first episode of season 1.
Yes.
The pilot episode I really liked. And that was a pilot they had to remake because they didn't like the first cut. So
oh, really?
They did a good job there.
Well, Anthony Hopkins was incredible. As was Khan in game number 1, checking out the top side of the map. Smev losing out on that trade in a big way, but hasn't lost out when it comes to the farm. They will lose out when it comes to this Mountain Drake. And SKT, once again, going to have a monopoly on these Drakes. KT are a Rift Herald team. They are not a Dragon team.
Because flashes are down, you see that even though the lane trades you alluded to, where you're able to out-trade the Sivir Jinx, the mechanic that you're also alluding to is that because of Sivir's range, you always walk into kind of the caster minions when you walk up to auto QW the wave, and in that spot, in the rocket form, very easy to push the ranged minions and also harass the enemy Sivir, and Spell Shield doesn't help you there.
Yeah.
Offside, Smeb takes the trade, but even given that, because Vision bot side started to escape them, they lose the Drake, they lose the ability to push, even with the First Blood, being kept honest a bit are the bot lane of KT.
Teddy teleports in. He's got his BF sword now, so he's going to start Ricochet clearing these minions quite effectively. Remember that Ricochet does cost a little bit more mana now, as Khan looks for the knock-up onto Smev, doesn't find the sweet spot, gets it onto a couple of those minions, though, demonstrating that he knows how to get this one done. B2D is going to take the safe way towards his turret, and thankfully for him, he does make that decision. Clid was lying in wait. All right, special Zoe delivery system. Good knock up there onto B2D as well. He steals a smite, but that ain't going to get anything done. Faker, very, very low. Cataclysm gets the flash out of Umpty as well. And SKT may lost First Blood bottom lane, but they are destroying the mid lane.
And what a delightful play that works on multiple levels. The fact that effort was there to shield and potentially support the turret dive. The fact that it was level 6 on Clid and only level 5 from Umpty. Everything on every level comes together. It's a kill, but it means oh so much more between SKT and KT.
Yep, meanwhile, we check in on the top side, and it's a decent knock up there from Khan, who's able to just clear out this minion wave. He's got the soldier build in a sword and a shield, and he's ready to do battle. You can see Clid up here as well, spotting Umpty, spotting Snowflower.
Snowflower's higher level than his jungle.
Wow.
Doesn't happen often.
Yeah, that's a weird one. And it also doesn't happen often that a Jarvan can just walk up to 3 people and be pretty comfortable, but he's not that comfortable. That Paddle Star does find him, as Teddy's going to get some free mana delivered as those Flame Chompers go down.
Gantra's top side, so it's a chance to push in. Jinx just has to grin and bear it.
Okay,
nice
good
trade.
knock up there from Khan.
Nice trade from Khan. Good times come later. Sheen plus needed. Sheen Phage. Maybe Smeb can find some better trades.
Yeah.
Or if the enemy jungler isn't vicious, can be happy at times. Let's watch the replay here. Really nicely done from Phage. Even as Portal Jump was used, scooped straight into BDD. Level 5 to level 6 among the junglers. Relevant, but this play is actually cooler if you zoom out because effort is already way first to get there to provide assistance. So it's not just see hero, kill hero. It's see hero and have the foresight to call in your support and do it all in a way that could only have gone positively for SKT.
That's only going to continue here as Khan does push Smeb out of this lane. The Phage is picked up. He's got 2 Doran's Blades. You can see feeling the pressure. And that Sheen you were alluding to, not even a whisper of it at the moment. In the item build of the Camille, going to take a long time as turret plate number 1 was taken by Khan. He got a Demolish proc onto that turret, and he's now going to go home and picks up his Caulfield's Warhammer. He's even got a Kindle Gem. The ideal back timing for the Aatrox, and it's only going to get harder and harder for Smeb here.
Till there's a moment where he has a couple of items and some vision, then I think Smeb will have some good options. But for now, like you mentioned, nothing doing on the top, and we're waiting to see Umti try to find a secondary gank. Love his path for that surprise early gank, got good advantage bot side, but that advantage is eroded quickly. Remember, they lost the Drake on that side of the map. They need to get more advantages through their jungler. That's kind of the core tenet of the 2019 meta.
Well, another core tenet of the SKT meta is get vision, take objective, and you can see top side of the map. There is no part of the enemy jungle that is in Fog of War. That is nutty. We got a big flank coming down from Faker potentially, but that's just going to guarantee that the Rift Herald can happen. Solo kill potential here for Khan as Shelly is set up. Smeb has to get the hell out of there. And this Rift Herald is going to get a couple of charges. In fact, wasn't really necessary as Arctic Assault is going to land onto Effort. Good life binding. And he instantly cleanses. Super Mega Death Rocket comes down, but Teddy minion blocked away from Prey. Effort is going to go down in the end. The stopwatch was really nice, but Teddy now given an opportunity to take down this minion wave. They'll have to dive immediately. 1 versus 4 though, and he wants to take Prey with him. Isn't able to. As Prey, there is a Devour. Smeb turns back up. This inner turret could be going down here. Smeb could also, though, as the Infernal Chains come in. Great knockups. It's a bouncy castle as Khan does have that world ender. Smeb is going to be dead here as cleared. Did have to flash, but they'll get themselves the turret as well.
Side laners staying for too long, but the turret pinata that comes down, the gold everywhere across the map suits the side of SKT. It was a lovely bait use of the Sivir ultimate, just like a Thresh Lantern when there's no allies to pick it up. It pulled away the members of KT, stopped them getting first turret bot side while SKT were trying to get the Rift Herald and then put down the charge. So intelligent use of cooldowns. Then a lot of people overstay, but in the end it does suit SKT.
It does. KT make this play and you're thinking if it's just this moment in isolation, great work KT, but we can see the minimap and we can see that the Azir was able to solo take the mid turret and the top lane was obliterated by Shelly and her SKT friend.
Oh, absolutely. KT got epically debated in this play, but they got 2 kills in the bot at SKT. It's the turrets that really don't work for them. Watching the replay here, Smeb tries to find a timing to really ultimate him through the max amount of damage. He does his best, but it's not going to be enough to actually get away from 2 members after the Infernal Chains armed. He was in trouble. The overall gold lead only grows from that play as SKT, they want their last piece of business around the map.
Well, Clit is just going to say, no. That is my blue buff. Goes over, just smites it. All too easy. Vision is actually cleared here from KT, and they get a lot of value out of that ward that you can see, the very southern end of the river. It's not going to mean that KT can stop this Ocean Drake from going down, though. And SKT will be able to get every Drake so far this series, continuing on into game number 2. Ocean, not exactly the highest priority. Lucent Singularity spots out KT moving on forward. So now, after all of that control they had top side of the map, they move it towards this bottom side as only 13.5 minutes in. They're not going to be too worried. Okay, Trouble Bubble is going to arm onto Clid. Not too much more is going to happen there as BDD picked up a Super Soaker. It was lying on the ground.
SKT trying to outdo themselves. Remember, it was a 13 turret plate game earlier this week. It's 11 this time. Khan starts the chase. Jarvan's on the way, and Smeb, you know, he's probably dead.
He dodged a lot of stuff, but I don't know whether he's dodged enough here, as Smeb does have the ultimatum available, but who's stuck in where with who is the real question. Smeb is just going to be taken down very easily by the Aatrox. Faker also taking a lot of damage here as BDD. Oh, a couple more auto attacks from these Sand Soldiers. Could have been the end for the Zoe, but Prey comes in the nick of time.
Sadly, the play on top side a bit pedestrian, Atlas. Hard to shout about. You get to save your lungs on that one, and there may not be too much more shouting. In the Telecom war today, No map control for Smeb to be that far up, but also if you don't push up, you miss out on minions. Umti has to flash out. How do you reclaim map control, you ask? Well, you need the vision, you need to start laying it down, but they don't have gold for too much vision, and that just means they lose out on much more, and they can't afford to. They're a bit on welfare here.
That's the problem, and this was KT that did manage to play around Prey in that early game. He's at 1-0-1, but that is double the gold gained by these turret plates.
And that's all of them actually picked up. None of those plates were zoned away by KT.
Nope.
Every single one, all 11. Picked up by SKT. That just means they're rich, you know?
Yep.
They're doing well. They're doing well in the gold total.
That was Khan and Faker that picked up the majority of those. Mid and top did go over the Aatrox and the Azir. As Black Cleaver is done, that is going to be the direct result of that one happening. Nash's Tooth also completed, as both of these solos do have gold bounties on their heads. That's what happens. Things go well in one lane for KT, but they go well in multiple lanes for SKT as it's all being said and done. KT just unable to play that defensive game alongside the aggressive play towards the bottom side that we really liked coming out from Umti and Prey and Snowflower.
But that was like kind of the only play from the entire series where KT Rolster actually put it all together. I think every other moment, there's been a gap in their playbook, whether it's micro, macro, or even in other ways. It just felt like they haven't been able to put it together, whereas SKT have kind of put in a consummate performance. Like, this is a very SKT series from when they're in form, but because that form is recent, you still have to say a significant uptick continues for them in the post-Rift Rivals era. It kind of plays into what we were mentioning, because a lot of people were asking me, as the Trouble Bubble does hit here onto Faker, a lot of people were asking me, what's wrong with SKT when they're on their losing streak? Very fair question to ask about. No, hold the point.
Well, maybe it's a Glacial Prison that's the problem, but Klid says it's absolutely not. He's going to be able to put the piggy in the Cataclysm and then EQs his way out, and SKT now kind of wishing that KT had hung around, as B2D does have that Paddle Star set up, finds Khan with it actually. Really good aim on this Zoe. Of course, B2D, one of our premier Zoe players. Underneath this turret, Faker does have the Sand Soldiers now.
Trying to force the
set
TP
up and ready to go. Exactly right. B2D down to half health. The World Ender in there. Khan immediately exhausted as Umti's going to go golden. And Faker just wants to take down this turret. Is unable to as KT used the teleport. Get Smeb in here. And they are going to be able to defend.
And that's smart from SKT. They don't necessarily have to dive, but they have to get the TP answer. And that's what they get. So all teleports on cooldown after that, only maybe for some spellbook ones available. They can back away here. The moment Aatrox TP's down and Camille has a TP advantage, forcing Camille to teleport is a huge primary objective as she's about to come into her Trinity Force timing. You never want to leave her free time to potentially run the lane and run the game with how much split pushing and potentially dueling you can do as two-item Camille. It's only one item. The two second items come.
Yep, and also Infernal Drake in 30 seconds time, so getting that teleport advantage away from KT will mean that SKT can move themselves to more of an option there.
Especially when they're the one moving first already with all the objectives they've already claimed.
Yep, and what it sort of benefits reactive play as well, having that teleport available. That is a reactive tool. You just have Smeb on a side lane. And so now not going to have that option. KT going to have to play around this Infernal Drake, but 8 seconds, and it looks like KT not going to have that opportunity. In fact, SKT are here stealing away this blue buff yet again. Hextech Ultimatum comes in. Smeb just going to flash out of it, though. Bit of a disaster here for KT. And once again, it's the communication that we have a big problem with. Trouble Bubble not going to be something that they can utilize, as Lucent Singularity stops any of KT's members from moving forward. B2D with the portal jump. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, there's the flash in. Cataclysm. Everyone put in the baby cage. Huge knock-up now from Khan as he's diving in onto the KT members. Huge scoop as Faker picks up the Tahm Kench. He'll make that a Smeb sandwich as well, as he's eaten well tonight. That is going to be huge damage, huge kills, and SKT will take an Infernal off the back end.
Biding their time. It looked like a one-way ticket from Klid, but it's because Faker had pushed the minion wave and was ready to push KT Rolster further to the brink of the 2-0 victory to SKT. They can follow up the minion wave. This one's been prepped nice and early. It's coming out of the kitchen red hot, and it's looking damn tasty.
Yep, this is certainly a cook and show, Papa Smithy. We're seeing what they prepared earlier, and it's looking real comfortable here from SKT. Tutorial style, as Klid is the only one necessary when it comes to taking down this Drake. They'll have their cake. They will eat it too. Are we hungry? We're making a lot of food references. It's okay. Effort is in position. Faker shifts some sands, gets himself out. Clid already here, looking for that knock-up. Actually doesn't go for it just yet. The flash used very late. Threads the needle, and Clid says, well, Pigeon Man, I'm sorry. You're on your own, and he's able to get out. Faker not so lucky.
Clid tries to body block as much as possible, but Faker will go down for 1-1. That means that Baron is about to spawn, and you know what? There's worse arguments than running at Baron and seeing what could happen. Umti's low health, but do they just YOLO it? The answer is no.
Yeah, Umti doesn't have enough of a health bar to work with there. 2 items done for both of our 80 carries, checking in there. Slightly better ones there for Teddy, as you can see. Essence Reaver as well as the Infinity Edge. Wants to get himself some attack speed, but right now, if he's able to get a few of these sneaky autos into a team fight, the Ricochet is going to be really hurting.
Watch the replay here before we go over some other relevant items. Watch the map, the mini-map, which is what I was watching to start. Faker this entire time while they were posturing and have been pushing the minions, and the ult from Clid all in is to buy time to just use the ult for damage, not pushing him into his team, trying to push as many for damage. Can't able to follow it up. Don't need to mince words anymore because you can see them just take them down. Budget time Kench available with the Mikhails done by Lux.
Yep.
And that window for KT to look at Baron seems like it was going to be a window shopping moment for KT.
Yep, not an option there as Smeb. His teleport is coming up a little bit later than Khan's. As we mentioned earlier, that teleport advantage that KT did have was given up, and now SKT are going to have that looming threat of the teleport available for themselves. SKT will have sole vision of this Baron area, but they will need to sweep out that ward. The pesky one.
Cleanses up, so Snowfire wasn't as risky walking up to that area. Trying to get those deep wards we know all about. TP flank from Khan, about 1:20 away from being threatened. A lot of teleports around the map coming up roughly the same time, but like you say, maybe a 20 to 25 second lead for SKT. Faker can do it over the pit and scoop away Umti, remember?
Yep. Snowflower doesn't have Smite available with his spellbook.
Nope.
Effort doesn't either. Smeb's making his way in, but Khan has found him. The Baron's just going to go down, but can SKT actually find a team fight as well? We're now talking about what SKT can get on top of the things they're already getting for free.
And isn't it nice they can take a Baron like that was risk-free despite it being 21 minutes and everyone up because of how they approached it, the fact that Azir could goaltend and also do plenty of Baron damage. Delightful Baron from the side of SKT, and creative item choice by Clid. He has a frozen heart with no health behind it, really.
And he's 008. That's 100% kill contribution, delivering all of that money to his team. Good guy Clid. His Jarvan is fantastic. It continues to be so as Faker just decides he wants to take a bubble.
Why did he build a frozen heart, I wonder?
Because there's a Jinx on the enemy team.
Sure, but the item is non-standard, and it's just Jinx. Not, I mean, Camille attack speed is sort of relevant, sort of not. It's kind of a peculiar item choice here. Usually you see a Knight's Vow or some health or something like that. Frozen Heart's kind of strange.
Let's have a lot of CDR on it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Maybe he thought he was playing TFT?
I think it was very much I was building some parts of another item, and I was like, ooh, I could finish this.
Yeah.
Kind of moment.
Perplexing. I don't think it's actually going to have very much sway on this game. 10,000
10,000
gold is the lead as 23 minutes on the clock means that, SKT are pretty far ahead. You'll need to be a genius to figure that one out, and KT now making the desperation play towards topside. Khan has the world ender, but it's not the same one that it used to be.
Oh, the world ending is over here.
Yep, they are certainly trading up on this one, as 2 inhibitors will be traded for the Aatrox's life. And get your worths in the all chat.
I think I heard Khan from here say, "Remember me!"
Yeah, exactly.
As he died alone on the top side. His flash wasn't up, but he didn't need to flash. He had already done his job tanking aggro. One of the sub-jobs of any SKT top laner. We've been through a few. They all know.
Yep. Not going to be defecting this time around, though, like Antara tried to. As,
one of my favorite costumes. It was translated to Korean as well.
I know, so good. What was he playing at the time? Was he playing
Cho'Gath?
I think it was Cho'Gath, yeah. Oh, good times.
Let's watch a rip. You know what?
Yeah.
This is going to be in KT's highlight reel for the next
hey,
match they
there
play.
We go. This is another don't look at the mini-map option. Hey, they'll also have the first blood, bottom side of the map.
Yeah.
Look at us doing the jobs of the highlight guys.
I feel bad for that guy.
I know.
Yesterday, Jinner and KT highlights.
I know. Well, at least Jinner have won, like, some games this time.
Yeah, but it's from the most recent series every time.
I know.
Yeah, gets hard.
It does. Life is pretty hard.
KT would agree with you. SKT, they seem very happy with where life is at in the last couple of weeks.
So is Gen G. That's a previous series.
Hey, 1-5 to 5-5 is
damn right.
a world of difference. They were on course for their worst ever round robin. If you're wondering, I believe 3-6, the worst they've ever gone before.
Yep.
But ended up 4-5. Not great, but fine. 5-5, getting back to 50%. With a lot of 2-0s in a row is nice for them as well.
Means the game score is actually going to be skyrocketing here. I believe -1 now, going to be back in the positives if they're able to win this game. And look, I don't think it's a very tall order to finish off a game 25 minutes in with a 10,000 gold lead. Faker now over the wall here, just abusing KT. Underneath their own inhibitor turret, and Khan is demanding all of the respect here as he has finally respawned. Teleport now in hand, and look at these ricochets. They're tearing through the KT members. Inhibitor exposed, Nexus turrets next on the menu. Final spark there just for fun. Effort had an R button to use. He decided to use it. Not going to be consequential here as the super minions just batter down onto this one. That's a big cataclysm. Everyone's in the baby cage. Can we wipe the floor with them? Faker says you're going to have to wait. And honestly, Teddy does too much damage. The R button not even necessary as Khan goes golden on the fountain. All right, SKT, that was all about Clid. And he says, no, KT, you ain't playing League of Legends today. This is the end, and that is going to be Telecom War over a 2-0 for SKT.
And to add insult upon injury, they can even play with their food. Clid goes in, gets the big cataclysm, goes out, and it's just like the little kid that opens his mouth while he's chewing. Because they could play with their food. It's no problem.
Yep. Let's have a look at this one again. I was waiting for the Emperor's Divide. I think all of us were.
Well, you know what? They didn't even need it.
Nope. The Sand Soldiers sort of dived in, but honestly, look at Khan. He says, nope, it's my time to shine. And then Teddy just did too much damage.
Everyone just wanted their highlight moment on the side of SKT. They knew the job had been done. Very, very simple victory for SKT. They played very well. Their side was strong, but it's another victory for SKT where you just sit there and you're like, how good is SKT? I still can't tell you. I can tell you they're internally consistent. A lot of their kind of weird laning phases or weird drafts have been moved away. They've been very, very solid with Zephyr and Koma at the helm on that side, and they're playing good League of Legends. But until they run into true competition, which sadly KT Rolster do not represent as of now, we can't tell you how SKT versus one of those playoff teams will go until we see it with our own eyes.
And it's going to be a couple of weeks from now, of course. Next week, they're only up against Jin. There's no other opportunities. And then, like you mentioned earlier on, I think Gen G is going to be their next cab off the rank.
So again, today's date, 12th of July. It is not till the 28th when they play Griffin. Between them, they only play Gen G, and we'll see if Gen G can keep a win streak going. If Gen G beat Kingzone next week, then it's a big game. But for now, it's Jin Air, Gen G, and then a test against Griffin, and that's a whiles away for SKT. So they're stockpiling wins. You know, they're basically win streaking, which is an important thing to see.
Exactly.
From SKT. And you can just watch how we see the early game moment for KT. To me, that was the only coordinated moment that caught SKT off guard and got KT an outright win when there was no kind of counter available. But then this gank happened in mid, and things fell into place again for the side of SKT. This is the best example, especially if you notice that Lux was already ready for it and has the shield to throw in to get involved.
And just the timing. You mentioned it, but the portal jump just on cooldown, and then Faker says, all right, I'll take a scoop of that. And it was really, really nicely done. This was a little bit disappointing because KT didn't play fantastically well, but if you're an SKT fan and you're watching this, you can still be proud of this squad because they played fantastic League of Legends despite the fact that their opposition wasn't necessarily the highest tier.
And selfishly, we're really happy because beating SKT with the lineup they have, the fans they bring, the eyes they bring to our product should mean something. And when they're on a 5-match loss streak, it doesn't happen. So we need and our product is stronger from a strong SKT, because now, if Damwon Gaming beat them today or tomorrow, you'd be like, wow, what a result, Damwon's here. Before, that wouldn't have been there. So SKT performing, backing up, being our representatives at MSI, and seeming like they're inevitably going to be on a tilt to come for LCK Summer and also Worlds 2019 is a good result for Korea. Korean fans everywhere feel happy. If you're an SKT fan, they saw a good performance from your boys today.
You certainly did. Really nicely done here. I don't think anyone's surprised with this result, but the way SKT just smashed Hanwha and then moved into smashing KT, this is an SKT that you can start to get excited about. I mean, after MSI seems to be rough for all of our teams here in the LCK. Kingzone suffered a lot after their bout.
Gen G, man. Gen G had a great offseason.
That's
week
true.
off for Gen G. Everyone else, you're like, ooh. But Damwon Gaming played themselves into form. SKT played themselves into form. Those are the ones to really talk about. Kingzone Dragon X versus Damwon is kind of the bad versus the good when it comes to coming back from Rift Rivals.
Yeah.
I think you'd poll a lot of people, and they would have said Kingzone when it comes to that series just a week ago. After seeing how good they were at Rift Rivals. If you want to isolate it, Kingzone were the darlings of Rift Rivals, and Damwon Gaming were very strong as well. Suddenly, I wonder tomorrow.
Yeah,
I feel like we'll know quickly. I feel
if you have like $100 that you have to put on one of the teams, who do you put it on?
Damwon's the easy money. I look at the line, you know. If it was actually a gambling website, I'd think about it. I wouldn't know. It's a very hard one.
Yeah, it's a roughie.
Who's the favorite? I don't know. There's a lot to talk about there. But this man is 0011.
Yeah, when it comes to asking the question of who deserved the MVP, this was probably the easiest MVP to give ever.
Oh, yeah.
Probably one of the best Jarvan performances that we've seen,
He's
and of
really
course
good.
it's Kled.
Jarvan was his other champion in the LPL that had the really big talk, right? It was
he
Lee
was
Sin.
the best Jarvan,
He was the best Lee Sin and the best Jarvan. Flawless might be.
Yeah.
Asking about that first one especially. He's usually a warrior Jarvan. He's been tamed a bit. He's been going into the Cinder Hole.
And now a Frozen Heart. Like, what is happening?
That one's just a bit, you know. But
yeah.
I don't think we'll see that one too many more times. But more games like this, please, from Kled.
Yeah. This is the Kled that's woken up now. He was the one that was missing from the summer season.
He was a toy gun at the start of summer. He's back to being a lethal weapon.
Oh,
so
hell yeah, he is.
You need a permit to carry Kled in your repertoire.
Well,
Seems
I mean,
like
he
SKT
was.
have got it again.
Yeah, he was a 00 agent in that game. 0011, 100% kill contribution, absolutely stunning. And let's throw it over to Ji-sun, who has that MVP interview with Kled.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Ji-sun with the English translation, and we'll be hearing from the solo MVP of SK Telecom, Kled. How was today's game? So game number 1 was really clean, and the game went as I preferred. So I think it was a very clean day. I cannot believe this is your first MVP interview for Summer Split. Did you expect this solo interview today? To be honest, after that losing streak, we were really desperate for the wins. So nobody was actually paying attention to the MVP awards. So game number 1, it was all about your Lee Sin. Especially your top gank was really awesome. So let's go through the highlights together. It was a perfect try and kick. Well, I saw a very perfect angle over there, so with me and Kwon, we were able to pick up that clean kill. So, looking at the Lee Sin, I saw you and Faker playing 1v1 on Lee Sin. So, as a Lee Sin master, is there any tips for the Mapo High School Spicy Fist Faker about playing Lee Sin? Well, Faker, he lacks a little bit in terms of 1v1, so after losing to me, I think now he'll be working really hard, grinding some of the skills for 1v1. Game number 2, day 4 was controlling the whole game. However, in the early phase, the game was a little bit on the KT Rolster side, so let's go through some of the highlights again here. So this was the 2v2 in mid lane. Well, at this moment, I was a little bit like my heart was a little bit pounding, but the luck was on our side, so we were able to get that result.
네, 자 벌써 4연승입니다.
So
이제
it's already 4 matches winning streak and 4 out of 13 that the Faker mentioned. And I can say your performance is up to the full potential. So any resolution going into the second round? Just like Faker said, well, we really want to take down all the teams that defeated us in the first round. And lastly, any message for your fans since it's your first MVP interview? Well, thank you for all the fans, even when we're losing for 5 games in a row, and I'll be looking for your continuous support. Thank you.
정말 고생 많으셨고요. 승리 축하드리고.
Congratulations on the win, and this will be the end of the interview with Clint from SK Telecom, and I'm going to pass it back to our casters. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ji-sun, once again for impeccable translation work as we had a chat to Only Clint, his first MVP and back-to-back MVPs, and probably one of our easiest MVPs in Game 2.
Absolutely. It was all laid out very clearly. Great play with Clid. What did we say about SKT recently? They're getting back in sync with Clid and on full display today. They don't move up, but you can tell they're on the right path, our SK Telecom T1. Because of playing more series right now, they are behind Gen.G. Africa Gen.G definitely looking over their shoulders, Atlas. SK Telecom T1 hot on their heels. Tomorrow we will have a great first match, especially as second versus fourth, with the potential of Damwon Gaming to go into outright first place against Kingzone Dragon X. We actually had a chance to look over schedules, and I must admit, Damwon Gaming have the mouth-watering one.
Oh, yeah, they do.
They play Kingzone into the one team they can just never beat in Griffin, and if they win both of that, that means that the hardest 2 opponents, perhaps, for them in the first round, in the second round robin are over, and it might just be plain sailing for arguably our new favorites.
Yep. Damwon will actually probably lock down the first place if they can win their next 2 matches. I think it's almost impossible for them to not be there as Sandbox. They're their only true challenge, but they've just taken them down. So head-to-head will be in favor of Damwon in that instance.
Hey, we've just seen, some of the best names start to fall down in summer. Let's not give Damwon Gaming for sure carte blanche to beat everybody 2-0. They should, because they're a young team and potentially...
No, I agree. But I'm just saying if...
Oh, I agree.
Then, damn.
I know.
1.
No. That was too much. Okay, we did so well for 2 days in a row.
Did we?
Yeah.
We've had some horrendous
We've been so
puns
subtle
today.
and beautiful. Everything I say is just Papa Smoothie everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no.
And you failed there.
Yeah, okay, I apologize. It's all me. I think the next day as well, we've got Afrika versus Griffin and then Hanwha versus Gen.G. So we're going to be doing a lot of deciding as far as that Afrika or Gen.G very close 5th place position.
Reality checks abound, right?
Yeah.
It's the reality check weeks before the purple patch in the end.
Yep, that's going to be on Sunday, but that's it for tonight. Good night, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.